you said you've become friends with school shooters during the debate. Can you clarify what you meant on that?
Can you clarify what you meant when you said you'd be friends with school shooters? Why did you say you were in Hong Kong when reports say you weren't?
So Tim Walz's blunders at the VP debate the other night, specifically the parts where he said that he befriended school shooters and admitted to lying about visiting China during the Tiananmen Square protests, have gotten so bad that even the mainstream media is asking a lot of questions about it. Take a listen.
So the question was about comments he's made twice now about saying that he was in Hong Kong during the Tiananmen Square protest. He was not. He acknowledged that. But this is the third or fourth time he said something that hasn't been true or it's been an exaggeration. Does Governor Walz have a problem with the truth?
No. This was a mistake. He was there that year. It was a few months off. And of course, there was much discussion at that time about what happened in Tiananmen Square.
Yeah, I'm sure that's exactly what it was. It definitely wasn't him padding the truth in order to make himself sound better. It was surely just an innocent mistake, because you would totally forget something like that or misremember the details in some way, right? Okay. Folks, we are dedicated to bringing you all of the breaking news coverage here and pushing back against the mainstream media. So if you are new to the channel, do us a big favor by hitting that subscribe button down below. Your subscription, trust me, goes a long way in ensuring we can keep bringing you videos like this. But chiefly here, I think that the media has been frustrated for some time and is almost relishing in the fact that they have not been able to ask Tim Walz questions. And the moment people and, the debate moderators and JD Vance as well finally got the chance to do so, he got absolutely bodied.
But first, David, I got to say, I think that Walz did seem unsteady. And frankly, what I saw in Walz is somebody who has not faced questions on a national stage since he became the Democratic nominee. He was simply out of practice. I mean, I don't know why they've done it, but they've kept him out of the limelight. They've kept him away from reporters. They haven't had him do any interviews. And he was clearly unsteady through much of that debate. And in contrast, JD Vance was very smooth. He took the arguments not to Walz. He was very respectful of Walz, took it to Kamala Harris.
Yeah, and it's certainly hard to argue against the fact that Tim Walz was woefully unprepared. But at the same time, I find it to be a pathetic excuse. Oh, it's because he didn't do enough interviews. It's because JD Vance is more experienced at this. Folks, JD Vance has been a U.S. Senator for less than 2 years. He's been in national politics only since 2021. Tim Walz, on the other hand, is a career politician. He's been governor of Minnesota for some time. He was a congressman before that. He should be used to this sort of thing. It's frankly a pathetic excuse to get beat by essentially the upstart, the rookie quarterback here, and then go out and claim that, oh, it's because I wasn't ready, I was inexperienced. But with that said, very hilariously, following last night's VP debate, Tim Walz did this little photo op at a pizza parlor, and he finally got confronted by reporters, and they predictably asked him why he said he was friends with school shooters. They asked him about the Tiananmen Square comments, and check out what Tim Walz's response was.
Governor, you said you've become friends with school shooters during the debate. Can you clarify what you meant on that?
Can you clarify what you meant when you said you'd be friends with school shooters? Why did you say you were in Hong Kong when reports say you weren't?
This clip is just so hilarious because that is a clearly defeated man. I mean, does he have AirPods in or something? Obviously not. He can clearly hear them, and he's just pretending to look very carefully at that pizza. Look at Tim. He's very fascinated what type of pizza he's getting. It is totally a made-up excuse. He is ignoring the reporters because he does not want to have to answer these questions, at least without a small amount of preparation, because the next day, back on the campaign trail, Tim Walz finally answered the questions about those blunders last night. And let's start with the Hong Kong comments. Take a listen to his clarification or justification for lying about being in China during the pro-democracy protests.
Yeah, look, I have my dates wrong. I was in Hong Kong and China in 1989. That move from Hong Kong into China, it was profound for me. That was the summer of democracy. I said it's where I understood how sacred democracy was. It's what encouraged me, about 15 back and forths with my students, taking them to China to to understand both, first of all, the culture, but also to teach Chinese students about democracy. That was part of it. It was one of the first group of high school students. There weren't a lot of times that there were high school teachers in there that you could teach in a Chinese high school. And so you've seen me. These teachers see me. I speak like everybody else speaks. I need to be clear, I will tell you that. But here's my whole point on that thing with China. I do understand China.
No, Tim, you did not, quote, mess up or get the dates wrong. You're a pathological liar and you're making up fake stories to make yourself sound better. It really is that simple. I mean, even look in this clip at John Fetterman in the background. Look at John Fetterman. He's like, this guy is totally full of crap. Even he knows, okay? Because that is a totally pathetic answer. You say you speak like everyone speaks. You speak like an ordinary person. I don't know. Do ordinary people make up entirely fake stories about their life for political gain on a regular purpose? Because Tim Walz seems to have a habit of this. Because it's not, it'd be one thing if there was this one Tiananmen Square comment he made and he misspoke, but this has been a repeated pattern throughout his career. You have him saying he fought in combat and, shot weapons of war in combat, when in reality, he literally left the National Guard before they were going to be deployed to the Middle East. He very oddly, I don't even know why he felt the need to say this, but he said that his children were conceived by IVF when they weren't. Okay, so he just made that up for no reason. There are a million instances of this. The guy is just an insane and strange pathological liar. And no, Tim, that is not talking like an ordinary person. But anyways, there is him addressing the Tiananmen Square nonsense. Okay, it's complete nonsense. Now listen, as a reporter asks, can you clarify why you said you've befriended school shooters? Of course, the infamous line of the debate. Tim Walz fails to clarify what he meant by it or why he said that statement. Take a listen to this.
Do you want to clarify the comments that you made about school shooters?
Yeah, and look, you got to see me. These folks know me. I'm super passionate about this. The question come up about school shooting. We're talking about everything except school shootings. And I sat as a member of Congress with the Sandy Hook parents, and it was a profound movement. David Hogg is a good friend of mine. You have seen me do this. I was talking about being people where there are school shooters. And I need to be more specific on that, but I am passionate about this. This one, for my wife and I, is just, as teachers, as parents, is so personal.
They asked you to clarify why you said you befriended school shooters. Okay, so the correct answer, if you're Tim Walz, is that I misspoke. I meant to say school shooting victims. Okay, the excuse he gave for the Tiananmen Square thing might actually be valid here, right? I meant to say school shooting victims. I screwed up. But instead of just saying that, he just goes on this long tangent that literally just does not clarify what he said or what he was talking about. Okay? Again, the question was, please clarify why you said you became friends with school shooters. This guy is just a disaster. Okay? Maybe there is a reason why they have kept him away from the press for so long, because they know he really gives Kamala Harris a run for her money in terms of just inability to speak clearly or, answer questions as a politician. And let me just say that on that front of the Tiananmen Square thing we just talked about, Tim Walz is frankly lucky that they only confronted him at the debate on one lie. And it's arguably a much more innocent lie than the fact that he's literally guilty of stolen valor. And I don't know why, if you're going to confront Tim Walz on making up fake stories, this right here was not a debate question. Although when you listen to the CBS moderators last night, we probably know the answer why. But Tim Walz should consider himself lucky that they only confronted him on the China thing and not the fact that he steals valor from our military veterans.
Walz did make a comment, speaking to a group, he's done it a couple of times, where he has used language that has suggested that he carried weapons in a fighting situation. As you know, with your contact with the military, I know from coming from a military family, there is a difference between being in a combat area, being involved at a time of war, and actually being in a position where people are shooting at you. There is no evidence that at any time Governor Walz was in a position of being shot at, and some of his language could easily be seen to suggest that he was. So that is absolutely false when he said that about gun rights out there.
Yeah, honestly, our good friend Timothy, despite how much of a disaster last night was, should really consider himself lucky, because you know, the China thing was bad enough. He did steal valor from the Tiananmen Square protesters back in the day. But on top of that, he's also stolen valor from military veterans, a lot of other people. And his excuse is what? Well, I just talk like an ordinary person. So sorry, I'm not clear about these things. Again, is that what ordinary people do? They go around claiming that they fought in combat when they didn't. They go around claiming that they were right in the midst of things when one of the most famous protests in world history was going on when they weren't. Yeah, okay. I don't know. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, though, let me know your thoughts on this in the comment section down below. What do you think of reporters finally managing to get to Tim Walz, and what does he do? Ignores them, first of all. Sorry, guys, I can't talk. I'm looking at the pizza very carefully here. Yeah, clearly not faking this. Again, that's what normal people do, though. Normal people just stare at the pizza very carefully to avoid... I don't know. And until next time, be sure, ladies and gentlemen, to leave a like on this video. Subscribe to help support our work to the channel if you are new. And God bless and peace.